Missing this one thing could be the reason why you're not getting customers into your business, and that's crafting the right messaging. Until you get this figured out, you're going to struggle to get the right customers into your business. In this episode, we are going to show you how to craft the right messaging to attract more customers. Hey business owners, I'm Brad Ball, your host for the Grind and Grow Marketing Show, and today we are talking about crafting the right messaging to attract the right customers. All right, so when we think about crafting the right messaging, it all comes down to clarifying your offer and your messaging. So when we think about clarifying your messaging, it's really how you articulate what you do in a way that compels the right people to take action. So we really break this down into 3 parts. So the first part is defining your distinctive messaging statement. And then the second part is finding the central belief solution. And then the third part is finding your ultimate outcome. Okay, so let's break each one of these down and let's start with defining your distinctive messaging statement. So this is basically what you do, who it's for, and why they should want it. So an example of this statement would look something like this. I work with this type of person who's struggling with this specific problem and wants to have this result instead. So you could basically take that sentence and plug in your own things into it. You don't want to confuse this with your mission statement. This is not your mission statement. Your mission is what drives you to do what you do. Your messaging statement is completely separate from that. So your messaging statement is how you would be communicating online, in your marketing, on your sales calls, and in your client calls, right? So it should help really clarify and be super clear on what you do. It should help create the FOMO factor, and it should not be all about you, but what you do for your customers or clients. Okay, so that is your distinctive messaging statement. Let's move on to the next one, and that is defining or finding your central belief solution. So really it comes down to answering these 2 statements. What do they need to believe in order to feel that your services are the answer? What do they need to understand in order for them to say, oh yeah, they totally get me? So when you can answer these questions, it really clarifies to you what you should be saying to them to get this feeling and this messaging across. It's them understanding what the problem is, and then them understanding that you understand what the problem is. It creates this connection that you're on the level of where they're at. Like, yeah, they totally get me. I understand. They understand my pain. They're offering the solution to my pain. That's what this central belief is. So once you define that, then this is how this would come across in like your social media posts and your blog posts and your lead magnets, your website copy, right? It's kind of like the central theme of it, right? It's like you guys are all on the same page. You're talking the same language. Okay, the third one is finding your ultimate outcome. Okay, now this is basically the why should they give a shit factor, right? What's in it for them? It should answer the question, what am I going to get out of working with you? What will that allow them to achieve? And how will it make their life better or different? So, what's the value, what's the benefits, the outcomes that they're going to get from your services? Typically, I like to structure this sentence into a so that you can statement. My service is going to give you this outcome so that you can have these benefits. So that's how you would structure that sentence. And now these things start to go into like your social media bios, the header statements on your website, in your email marketing. So you can start to use these messaging statements inside of all of the content that you are creating. Okay, so that wraps us up for today's messaging and clarifying your messaging. And once you get this straight, it really is going to help you create the right content and speak to your ideal customer in the way that you should speak to them to get them to take action. Okay. Hey, if you are a listener to this podcast, I want to invite you to our private Facebook group. It's filled with other motivated business owners just like you, and it's a place for us to connect one-on-one outside of these podcasts. So I'll put a link to it in the show notes, and I hope to see you there.